Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. So today I am going to show you how to make calendula oil. So you have two options. You can buy either petals or full heads from a wholesale retailer in your area, or you can grow them. So this is me. I have grown, there's 8 plants right at the face of this border here. And this is what I have been dealing with constantly all summer. So literally every day I come out. Of course, the more you pull the heads, the more it encourages more growth. So almost every single day I'm having to come out and harvest these heads and drying them out in my house. And once they are a full dry, that's when you can start the process of making that calendula oil. So you have two options when making the oil. You can somehow make your petals, so you either sit them down like this on a flat surface, or somehow get them to stand up like this in order to keep this nice open shape. I personally don't care. Most of mine are dried and shriveled. As long as they are dried fully, you are good to go. But let's go inside and I will show you how to actually make it, and we can just kind of chat about the benefits of calendula oil and what it does and what I'm going to be using it for. So what is calendula oil and why are we using it? So calendula oil is just that. It is calendula flowers. So people use either the whole flower head or just the petals. They sit and rip the petals off. We put them into a mason jar and we use an oil of our choosing and infuse the oil with the flowers. It's pretty much that simple, but why are we using it? I am personally making this oil so that I can put it into a different recipe mixed with other things to make a polysporin, so like a herbal ointment, as opposed to using polysporin from the store. So calendula oil on its own is very effective in treating many different ailments. So rashes, burns, little cuts and scrapes, things like that. So again, as you would use actually a healing compound. So it's very much known for its cell repair, for being an antiseptic, for being antifungal and anti-inflammatory. So this is a great thing to make if you can and have a little bit of extra garden space to grow the plants. Like I said, this was only 8 plants and I was harvesting every single day and having these dry. So if you're doing it on your own, literally you're just popping the heads off like I showed you, letting them dry inside. If you wanted to have them dry that open, like I said in the past, you would put them on a special rack just to have them stay open, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what they look like. But anyways, moving along, you can just use the oil itself and so if you had a little cut or scrape on your hand, you could just rub the oil on it just on its own, but I want to add it with other things, just to, like I said, make it a stronger polysporin. Anyways, how you can use that, just like I said, to do all those things, but you can also use it in an ingredient in your salads because this is edible, so it would work as an anti-inflammatory from the inside out, and it all just depends on what oil you're using. So I've already told you how to make it. I'm going to show you the exact recipe in just a second. But the first thing to know, besides your flowers in a mason jar, or it doesn't have to be a mason jar, you could use an old pickle jar that's been cleaned out or whatever you have on hand as long as it has a lid. You're going to need your flowers, obviously, and then some oil. So the oil is up to you. You can use so many different oils. There's the olive oil, avocado oil, jojoba, grapeseed oil, the list, coconut oil, the list goes on. You can use whatever oil you want based on your preference and what the oil brings to the table. So every oil that you use is going to have different properties, and that's going to be decided on you and how you're going to use it. So for example, if I'm putting it into coconut oil and I want to eat it, coconut oil is probably not going to be what I use. I would want to use the olive oil. So I'm using a mixture of 2. You can use just one. It doesn't have to be a mixture. You don't have to get fancy, but I have decided to use a mixture of 2. I am using avocado oil. This was cheap. These are 2 cheaper options. So for avocado oil, the cliff notes on this one, there's so many different benefits, but the ones that stood out for me is that this offers wound healing. It's used for sunburns and other anti-inflammatory, and this has a lot of vitamin, like avocados themselves have a lot of vitamin E in them, and that is used if you've ever used like straight vitamin E to help lessen scars and dark spots. So that's why I chose this one. Olive oil is great. It also has anti-inflammatory properties, and it reduces puffiness and swelling. So that's why I chose this one, and the combination of the two will make a perfect addition to my polysporin tincture. But like I said, you could just rub this on whatever ailment you have. But anyways, moving along, I am going to show you. So you pick the container that you want to use, and the oil is going to be determined by how big of a container you're using. So you're going to want the same volume of oil to container you're using. So for example, this is a pint jar, so you're going to want to have, which is 500 milliliters, you're going to want to have at least 500 milliliters of oil. Same thing, you've got your quart jar, so you're going to want at least a quart of oil. So if you are using petals, you are going to want to only fill the jar halfway with petals. I am using full flower heads, so you only need to do 3/4. So half of the way for petals, 3/4 of the way for flower heads. Now I am only using, I am using this big jar, and I should probably note as I'm filling this that here, do you hear that? That's because these are completely dry. When you are drying your calendula heads, you want to make sure that those get fully dry, because if you don't, sorry, my arm got in the way there. If you don't, it is possible that the moisture in the flower left hitting the oil can create bacteria pockets, and that's not what we want. So you make sure that they are super, super dry. Usually if you're buying them wholesale or from a retailer, you don't have to worry about that. They've taken care of it. But yeah, just wanted to throw that little tidbit. So I've just used a little spoon and really made sure it was packed in here. So it's about 3/4 full. Now for me specifically, I'm doing half and half, but yeah, we're gonna just fill this with oil, and you're gonna bring it up to the neck. And as you can see, I'm filling it. And I just wanted to show you as you come through here. It's taking a bit, but you will see it slowly start to fill the jar. And here we are. I have got my calendula completely immersed in oil in there. Now I'm going to throw a lid on it. And now you're going to want to put this in a nice warm, sunny spot, because you're going to want the oil to warm up and get everything out of those flower heads and just extract it all into that oil. So a windowsill works splendidly. I'm going to actually put mine up on my plant stand up here because this gets a lot of sun, and just let it fester for about 4 to 6 weeks. You can go up to 8 weeks if you'd like. And then it's a simple strain with a cheesecloth or a strainer, all of the liquid from the heads, and you're good. And that is how you make calendula oil. I really hope that you use it in your garden. It has so many healing properties and is so good for you. So please follow us along for more do-it-yourselves from the garden. We'll talk to you later. Bye.